It's the stuff that dreams are made of if you're a truck lover. Mammoth machines soaring skyward. Huge tires flattening the traffic beneath them. A fantasy for anyone who drives a truck or hopes to do so someday. But if you're a monster truck racer, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania can be a nightmare, as Nightlife's Wayne Smozanik found out last year. He, like so many others, hopes to bounce back from previous disappointments here. Coming up next, we'll see whose dreams of victory come true. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the superstars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Nationals Monster Truck Challenge. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we're at the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Summer Nationals at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. But there is some inclement weather here in north-central Pennsylvania, but the old adage is the show must go on. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee. You know, in NASCAR racing, they have the Monster Mile at Dover, the Lady in Black at Darlington, and those treacherous high banks at Talladega. In monster truck racing, there is one facility that certainly gets the heartbeat racing, and it's right here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. And here with more on that is Army Armstrong.
Gary, you're right. The old left lane at Bloomsburg, kind of spooky. A lot of people don't like to run the left lane. As a matter of fact, in the qualifying session, everybody was trying to get quick time of the guy they're running against, so they get lane choice, and they want to go on that right lane. What's so unique about the left lane at Bloomsburg is the fact that when the sport was so new last year, there was so much action that came out of the left lane. At that particular time, it was 100 feet further down the track. Sanctioning bodies were still trying to figure out where exactly to put the finish line. Okay, they'd come back, shortened it 100 feet. The drivers like it. They're real comfortable with it. First jump's at the same location. No man's land stays the same. Second jump at the same location. But there is a trump card, and that is Mother Nature. It just started to rain a little bit, and what that does is it makes the track very, very slippery for the monster trucks. And you think, wait a minute, how can a track be slippery for monster trucks with those big old tires, those big old cleats and everything? Well, that's the way the tires come out with the cleats on it. But if you'll notice, these guys have cut those cleats down. They're very, very slippery when they get on wet surfaces. So it's going to be very, very important for these drivers to hit square what they're jumping today. Gary, back to you.
And Army, let's take a look at the round one matchups. The fast qualifier BIGFOOT going against the 7th quick Gravedigger. Then it's Nightmare against number 11 fast UFO. Barefoot with Fred Schaefer against American Made. King Krunch with Scott Stevens will take on Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. Overkill, the 4th fast qualifier against Wayne Smozanik's Tropical Thunder. And Snakebite will take on No Problem, all in round one competition. And here's a look at the latest creation from Bob Chandler's shops in St. Louis, Missouri. This is BIGFOOT number 10, Andy Brass, the driver. He is the fast qualifier. Now, we're going to take a look at his qualifying run from yesterday. Notice the sunshine. Yesterday it was warm, it was dry. Today, of course, it's very damp. That'll make a difference in the competition. But here's a look at the fast qualifying run for Andy Brass in BIGFOOT number 10. And now he lines up against the Gravedigger, the 1950 Chevy panel wagon driven by LYLE Hancock.
Gary, I find it awfully interesting that these monster trucks are starting to develop their own personality, and probably the two most popular trucks on the circuit draw each other in the first round. The Gravedigger out of North Carolina in the far lane, powered by Chevrolet. Who does he go up against? Bob and Marilyn Chandler's Big Blue, BIGFOOT, Ford. Look at the race.
It's going to be all Ford. Big Blue. BIGFOOT takes the victory over Hancock and the Gravedigger. So BIGFOOT will advance. Andy Brass is the fast qualifier from yesterday's round of qualifying, so he will advance to round two competition. He takes the measure of LYLE Hancock. There's a look at Hancock in the cockpit of the Gravedigger. Obviously, the fans respond as we take a look at the rain falling here at Bloomsburg. They're back there under shelter, so they're dry. We'll take a look again now, and it was right off the start. Andy Brass cut a good light, and it was all BIGFOOT as he takes the victory. Let's go down trackside and visit with Andy Brass.
Andy, tell me about the track.
Well, the track seemed to be pretty decent. You know, everybody was kind of scared of it at first, so was we, you know. We got up against Digger. We knew he was going to have to run hard. I heard him lose something. I thought he maybe lost another transmission. We kind of let off of it down through there. But we did stay on it over the first set and stayed on it right after the first set. The truck seemed to go straight and everything, so we thought we was going to hook up good. We was going to make a straight run, and that was all we was worried about.
Well, now run one competition continues. There is a look at Dan If, an American-made. That is a 91 Ford F-250. He's come a long way to be here this weekend from Tucson, Arizona. And boy, does he have some competition. He looks off to his right and sees the veteran drag racer in barefoot. This is Fred Schaefer. Fred out of the Illini state of Illinois.
Well, Fred's trying to put the first win together for the Dodge camp. He used to run Chevrolet for many years. A lot of guys kind of swallowed real hard when they saw him roll in with that big Mopar sign on the side of that truck. He wants to win in the worst way. A long way from home, the guy out of Arizona rolls in to go against one of the biggest, baddest trucks in the sport. Watch Schaefer in no man's land. The truck has a tendency to pick a feet out of the water and make all kinds of horsepower.
Remember, this is a slick racetrack here this afternoon with a lot of moisture, rain in the area. And, oh, an easy victory for Barefoot. No competition whatsoever.
You notice he went to the finish line and went away from that center lane. Remember, there's some controversy earlier this year with him crossing a center lane.
Well, there is a look at Heidi Moore. She is anxiously awaiting the first pass by her husband, John Moore, and no problem. That's coming up. Welcome back. We're in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Summer Nationals, a part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. Hi, everybody. Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong, and there is a look at Snakebite, Colt Cobra. And Colt will line up against John Moore in the brand-new no-problem truck. There is a look at, again, one of the more popular vehicles on the circuit. And there was one of the brand-new vehicles, no problem.
Yeah, John Moore's teamed up with the new No Problem, a new sponsor, the HPX people. Now, you also see that name on the John Force drag racing car, so they're big into the nuts and bolts of motorsporting, if you will. But Moore has got a tough hill to climb here if he's going to get past the Snakebite. He's not afraid of him, but he knows he's got to leave on him if he's going to beat him on the other end. And that's going to be tough to do because that snake is quick.
It's a tried expression, but the Snakebite does get stronger every race weekend. And look at this. No problem, but the no problem was for the Snakebite. He loses the cover off the rear of that pickup.
And he also turns away from the center line because the shutdown area. See, all that grass is damp. It's slippery right now. So everybody's going over the finish line and then going away from the other guy. Kind of like the Blue Angels doing an arrow maneuver. When they hit the finish line, they shoot away from each other.
That is weird.
Well, Heidi's comment was it's on its wheels, it's all right. Obviously disappointed that he lost the race, but obviously the truck is in one piece. As we look at Scott Stevens in the King Krunch, the auto value King Krunch, and he goes up against the Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter out of Wadesboro, North Carolina.
Well, these guys have been here before. Stevens, you know, you referred to Heidi talking about being on the wheels. He spent so much time on his lid last year. That's the vehicle closest to us. I think they finally got that chassis squared away. The auto value people have teamed up with this guy, and he's carrying a good number for him.
And he has it. I think he has it. King Krunch. Perseverance paying off for Scott Stevens. He was upside down so many times last year, but he's persevered.
Well, he just worked through his problems, you know. He's got to be tickled to death just to go back and not have to put that thing together after every run.
One more time, almost even. In fact, it looked like Gary Porter had a bit of a hole shot right there. But it's in this area right here where by inches the victory goes to Scott Stevens. He's with Army.
Scott, everybody's running just like it's a hot, dry day. The moisture we were worried about, nobody else seems to be worried about that.
Yeah, Army, the track's a little bit slick, and it's just made a lot better racing for the people here in Bloomsburg. And you got a couple of trucks that have been running real quick all weekend, and just to even things up, this little bit of slick track. You know, auto value and strong arm, you know, we're just ready for the next round.